Alright guys, today we start this video out at Milledgeville, Georgia, in front of the Milledgeville State Hospital. This is an abandoned area, and we're going to take a look around. You guys come and join us. And this sign here says that this was the Powell Building from 1879 to 1907. The institution adjusted to more accurate and innovative methods of diagnosis. In 1842, the Georgia Lunatic Asylum in Milledgeville admitted its first patient in 1860, and it is said that that patient came up here basically on a horse and buggy. And the U.S. Census counts that 283 patients in the asylum at that time. And then in 1864, with 300,000 federal troops occupying Milledgeville, it is said that Sherman spared this state hospital from destruction. And then in 1897, the hospital is renamed the Georgia State Sanitarium. But there are stories stating that Sherman and the Union soldiers basically camped out in this particular area and spared the destruction of this building here that's been standing for a very long time. And a lot of these patients, unfortunately, had some really inhumane things done to them. There was a practice back in the day. It was basically a neurosurgical treatment by the name of lobotomy. And I'm not going to get into what a lobotomy consists of. but it wasn't a successful form of treatment, and it was very inhumane. But many lobotomies were done in this particular hospital, and a lot of inhumane psychiatric practices. And here's a backside of the insane asylum that we're at here in Milledgeville, Georgia. It says, before the Civil War, the state of Georgia found itself with a surplus of unwanted and unabandoned citizens, and it opened the Lunatic, Idiot, and Epileptic Asylum in 1842. Over the next 100 years, Milledgeville's Lunatic Asylum became one of the largest in the country, with over 1,300 patients at its population peak. Many of these patients never left the facility, as evidenced by the 2,000 grave markers at the nearby Cedar Lane Cemetery that memorializes the 25,000 souls buried across the hospital grounds. And this appears to be like a form of a watchtower. And this is the Walker Building. Was originally called the Male Convalescent Building. It was built in 1884 and opened for use in 1886. The Walker Building served as an admission ward for white males. This building was faithfully used to treat patients until closing in 1974. Like this one was 2494, and this was to protect their privacy. Actually, those numbers can be matched up to a name, but these are all the patients from the insane asylum here in Milledgeville, Georgia. And as you can see, there's virtually no markings left on this particular stone. Somebody did put a rose here, and we've got one here as well. And here's one, looks like it's been broken off. Of course, all of these grave markers basically have no names on them any longer. Let's take a look and see. these markers down here say. This is a Rowan, Miss N.A. Rowan. Looks like this was the Rowan family. Can't quite tell what this one says. Born August 14th, 1884, died June the 2nd, 1892. And this is the cemetery for the Central State Hospital. And here is a statue here that was erected back in 1998 when they actually restored this particular cemetery here. Alright guys, if you're from Georgia, I'm sure you have all heard the saying, when you act a little crazy or if you misbehave, there was a saying. And I'm going to let my mother tell you what that saying was when I misbehaved or act a little crazy.
If you don't behave yourself, I'm going to send you straight down to Milledgeville, Georgia.
That's it. That's what we've all heard.